This happened back in the summer of 2018. At that time, I used to work out with my two friends, Jared and Spencer. We had just graduated high school and would go to the gym every morning together and work out. Sometimes we would hang out afterwards or get food. I remember that Jared kept saying he really liked Costco's pizza and he wanted us to try it. Personally, I didn't think it would be all that great, and I didn't even have a Costco membership, but I was willing to try it. One day, after the gym, Jared convinced us to go. Spencer and I were both hesitant, but we figured, why not go with? As it turns out, when we got there, Jared didn't have a Costco membership either. He told us that all the times he had gone before, he had been able to sneak in without anybody stopping him and asking him for a membership card. The store looked pretty busy, so we all decided to try to walk in behind somebody else and hope that nobody would notice or care. We went inside behind several people and were able to make it in okay. We walked over towards the food area where they sold the pizza and other food, like ice cream and hot dogs. But before we could get in line to order, a man approached us. He was a younger-looking man who worked at Costco and asked to see our membership cards. At that point, we all came clean and told the man that none of us had memberships, but we're just hoping to get a pizza. The man told us that we couldn't do that without a membership, but said he could offer us a daily pass to each of us that we could use. I wanted to just leave, but we all decided to follow the man to get our passes. He led us towards the side of the store and through a doorway leading to the back room. There was a hallway that we walked down from there, and then he led us into this weird type of back room. The lights were off inside the room, but the man told us to go inside. As we did, the man turned the lights on, and when the lights came on, it revealed about 5 large, scary-looking men inside the room, all staring at us with ski masks covering their heads. They were not wearing Costco clothes or even any type of work clothes. We all turned to the door, but the original man stood there with his arms out as if he was going to block us. One of the men told us to do as they say. Jared turned and ran at the man blocking the doorway immediately and actually knocked him down. I followed, and then Spencer ran behind me. We all ran past the man and back out the hallway. Finally, we made it inside Costco again, where there were other shoppers, and we felt more safe. We then looked back but didn't see any of the men, so we decided to just leave without getting a Costco pizza or anything. It was just so weird what had happened, and I have no idea what those men wanted from us. We never reported it or anything like that either. I used to shop at Costco all the time. As a mother of 3 children, all under 10 years old, we go through a lot of food in our household. One night, I was shopping for some groceries like I often would. It was a quiet night at Costco, and not very many other people were there at all. As I was passing through one of the aisles, I came across some crates. I noticed that behind some of the crates, I could just barely see a man hiding behind them. I thought it was a funny joke because I had seen some videos where people would hide in stores like Walmart between the aisles, so I ignored the man and kept going. I was in the store for quite a while longer, and as I was on the opposite end of the store, I just barely noticed the man again. He was once again hiding behind some crates, and this time I caught him staring right at me. I ignored it again and kept on going, but I suddenly felt a little bit creeped out. I didn't really get a look at the man at all because he was hunched over and hiding behind crates, but he seemed pretty average. As I finished up getting things, I couldn't help but start looking over my shoulder a little bit. It was just really strange to see a man hiding and looking at me 2 different times. I got the last of my several items on my list and then started towards the front of the store to check out As I did, I glanced behind me and noticed the man was there once again. He and I were the only people in the aisle, and the man appeared to be walking right behind me about 10 feet back. He was also just staring right at me, and when I looked at him, he didn't even pretend to be looking at something else. He just remained staring at me. I was about to ask the man why he had been following me when he suddenly turned and ran in the opposite direction and out of the aisle that we were in. At that point, I was just so happy that he left me alone that I began to walk quickly to the checkout to leave Costco. It took me maybe 30 seconds to get to the check lanes, but as soon as I got there, I heard a commotion and some noise coming from about 30 feet away near one of the aisles. I saw the man who had been following me literally fighting with another man and throwing him to the ground. I watched as the man then got up after wrestling with the other man and ran away once again. He got out of sight and there wasn't many people in the store at all, but I heard somebody in the distance yelled to call the police. I got out my phone and then ran outside, leaving my cart full of groceries. It didn't take long at all for the police to arrive, and I waited outside as they got the man out of the store. The man was basically crazy and tried to attack two people before attempting to run away. If I hadn't turned around and caught the man following me, who knows if he would have attacked me as well. This story happened a few years ago. I was on my way home when my friend John called me and asked if I could pick him up some food from Chipotle. John lived in my same apartment building, so we would occasionally get food for each other and stuff. We also happened to be pretty good friends. I said sure because it was on my way home, but when I got to Chipotle, I realized that it was closed. The Chipotle was very close to a Costco and was sort of in the same parking lot. I drove into the Costco parking lot, which was also empty, and checked on my phone. Both places were closed, so I texted John to tell him that they were closed and asked him if he wanted me to pick him up something else. As I sat in the empty Costco parking lot waiting for a response, I noticed another car driving into the parking lot and pulling up next to me. I looked over, wondering why in the whole entire empty parking lot so one would park right next to me. I didn't recognize the car, and it didn't look like a police car or anything like that. When I looked over, the windows were tinted, so I couldn't see inside. Then another car pulled in shortly after, followed by several more. The cars all parked next to me were very close to me, and in total there had to be close to 10 of them. At this point, I was feeling really confused and even slightly concerned. All the cars remained running, and finally I saw a door open up. I noticed a man get out. He had on a cap and sunglasses. He walked right up to the passenger side of my car, and then I noticed another man get out of his car and aggressively walk towards my driver's side. The man at the passenger's window knocked on my door, and I slightly rolled down the window just a crack. As soon as it was open, the man reached his hand in as far as he could and then tried to push the window down the rest of the way. I knew at this point that I was in trouble and clicked to roll it back up. That's when the man quickly reached his hand out of the window and banged it on it really hard. I had enough at this point and put my car into reverse and started to back away. When this happened, the men raced back to their cars, but at the same time I noticed another car start to drive towards the parking lot. All within about 10 seconds, all the men had returned to their cars, and all of the cars drove off out of the parking lot in all different directions, leaving me alone. Just like that, they were all gone, and I was just sitting there in the middle of the Costco parking lot all by myself. I was pretty freaked out and decided just to drive home. Luckily, I wasn't followed or anything like that, but I don't understand who those people were or what they wanted from me. I